Welcome to the Carl H. Lindner College of Business and to the University of Cincinnati. We really wish we could be welcoming you to our campus and into our fancy new building, but this will have to do, and we're really happy that you logged on and are joining us for this virtual presentation. We'll first introduce ourselves. We'll go through a little bit of an agenda, talk about what we'll go through in the next 30 minutes or so, and then we'll get started. So first of all, I'm Rachel Green. I am a fourth year out of 5 studying business analytics and accounting, and I am originally from Chicago, and I'm the president of Lindner Ambassadors. I'm also a tour guide on campus.
And my name is Jordan Dry. I am a third year studying business analytics and marketing. I'm from Dublin, Ohio, which is up near Columbus. And I'm the president of Business Fellows, which is a diversity and inclusion program here. And I'm also a resident advisor.
And Jordan's also a Lindner ambassador, and so that's why we're here. That's why we're the ones talking to you. So we're ambassadors for the College of Business. We engage as best we can in these times with prospective students, really just looking to talk about why Lindner is important to us and about our experience here in general. So here's a great quote on the screen from our dean. I've loved getting to know her over the past couple years, and I'm sure Jordan has as well. It really just encompasses why we study business. So when I was a junior, senior in high school, I had no idea what a business major was, what it meant to study business, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I knew that I loved to solve problems, and so that's what brought me here. How can I make a difference in the world by really finding creative solutions to problems, and that's why I'm at Lindner, and Lindner is going to help me figure that out. So throughout the presentation, we're going to introduce you to these 5 points of distinction that really build a foundation for what we do here at Lindner and really what we think makes Lindner unique. So first, we'll talk about a problem-solving mindset. This is really what guides our curriculum and all the classes that we'll take. Next, we'll talk about flexibility and how it's really all about you. And everyone's experience here will be different. Next, we'll go into experience-based learning and talk to you a little bit about getting outside of the classroom and practicing what you've learned from your professors and just testing out your major. Next, we'll talk about community and what it means to be a part of Lindner and as well as a part of UC as a whole. And then finally, talk about why it's important that we're here in the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah, and you guys might be thinking like, oh, I mean, I could find these anywhere. All colleges have this, but it's really the fact that UC brings, and Lindner specifically, has all 5 of these points together, and we're going to give you all 5 to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, so really, like Jordan said, that distinct combination. So we're excited to show you them. So the first point of distinction that we'll cover is the problem-solving mindset. I'm going to pass it off to Dean Lewis to share with us what a problem-solving mindset means to her.
Problem solving is a process of finding solutions to complex issues. At Lindner, we empower business problem solvers to tackle some of the world's greatest challenges at the level of the individual, of society, and of organizations. Problem solving matters, and that sometimes the problem is not the problem. The problem is how we approach the problem. There's so much to learn, and we continue to do so every day within Lindner as we work to empower the problem solvers of tomorrow.
So as a first-year student, I remember coming on campus and having a lot of unanswered questions, not really knowing what was going on. But something that comforted me right away was that Lindner welcomed me into a learning community. So these learning communities are 20 to 25 other first-year students who will take these first business classes with you. And these business classes start on your first day. So that's really important to note and something that's really unique about Lindner because we're going to get you into the classroom and get you started taking those business classes right away.
Yeah, and I came here not knowing what I wanted to do in business. Really, I chose business because I wanted to be in business. That's all I knew. So I came in as business undecided, which you can do. And really, the business pathways course taught me, or it kind of made me reflect on what exactly I want to do. And I decided to do business analytics. But then later I was like, you know what? I can add another one. Let's add marketing. So now I'm a business analytics and marketing major.
Yeah, so those business pathways courses bring in speakers. So those might be people from companies that are in Cincinnati. They might be alumni or not. They really teach you just kind of what to do when a speaker comes in, because sometimes none of us have had experience with that. And then also introduce you to every single major that we have in the College of Business, because there's a lot, and it can be a lot to take in at first. Next, moving into our fast track projects. These are 3 projects that you will complete with that learning community. So again, these are people that you've met on the first day and people that you'll work with throughout that first year. So you'll really learn how to work together as a team, and it kind of feels like a well-oiled machine at the end of it. You know how people operate.
Yeah, you know everyone.
And so there's these 3 projects, and we'll each talk about kind of our favorite ones. But first, project strategy partners you with a company who has a presence in Cincinnati, and you actually present to usually an executive, if not just a recruiter, someone that's important in the company, about their strengths and their weaknesses and their opportunities and their threats. So you complete this, what's called a SWOT analysis, and present to a company really early on, which was scary, but definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone and taught me a lot, not only about business, but probably about myself. Then next is project innovation. You kind of put on that entrepreneur's hat. You get to take a project or a new product idea or a business idea all the way from the drawing board through financials and up until how you're going to actually market or sell this product. And that was really fun. And again, just still working with that learning community. Then finally, we have Project Impact. So these learning communities partner with nonprofits in the Cincinnati area. You complete service hours with them, so you actually get to do volunteer experience, as well as learn the inner workings of what it's like to run a nonprofit when it comes to business as well. So what was your favorite?
Yeah, I'd have to say my favorite was Project Impact. All 3 were great, but my group really shined in Project Impact. Because, like she said, you'll get to know everyone on a different level with your learning community, and this is who you're going to go into that project with. And I had no idea what the nonprofit sector looked like, especially as a student or an employee. So my group, we went to Burnett Woods, which is basically just some woods in the backyard of Cincinnati, and we helped clean up the area, promoted Burnett Woods to try to get more people to come, and it was just a fun project, and you helped the community, so it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a great combination, and like people don't often think about accountants, I guess. I'm an accounting major, so I don't often, at least in the beginning, think of what it's like to be an accountant for a nonprofit, but they're important too. So my favorite project was probably innovation. We had a little bit of an interesting idea for ours. We had a thrift shop that we were going to open up on campus. We unfortunately never did. But we were going to open up a thrift shop that was a way for people to just exchange clothing, because I know that we often wear business clothes especially. So when thinking about, I don't know, you get a new outfit for an interview or something, but then maybe you want to pass it along. So it was kind of a way to a clothing exchange. And so coming up with the financials for that was really difficult at first because we had no idea what we were doing. Our professor told us that we had to have washing machines, which we hadn't thought about. And so it's how much does an industrial washing machine cost? I don't know. But these are all things that we learned, and it was really great and an awesome experience to introduce me to what it's like to be an entrepreneur. So this slide, don't get too hung up on it. I know when I was a freshman, I had no idea what the difference between any of these was, and that's totally okay. The big thing to take away from this slide is that we have options. So at the college, we have 13 majors and 14 minors here to offer, and all of them fall into kind of these little bit of buckets, and they all focus on different things. And so you can learn more about those on our website, but for now, don't get hung up on them because you'll figure out what it is that you want to do. Here you can see that lower core versus upper core distinction, really talking about just building that core coursework and working up to the major courses. So making sure that we're all learning from the bottom up how to be the best business problem solvers we can be. And this curriculum is really formed by not just our faculty and staff, but also throughout communication and different conversations that we've had with business leaders in the Cincinnati area, beyond, and also current students and alumni as well. So we'll move right into, and Jordan will talk a little bit about flexibility at the college.
Yeah, so here at Lindner, we're extremely flexible in what you want to do. Later on, we'll talk about why this is all about you. Everyone's college experience is different. I know my experience is definitely different than Rachel's experience. This goes into our LPEs, when you want to take them, classes you want to take, when you want to take them, what classes you want to take, and just your meetings with your career coach and your academic coach, they're going to be different. Some people won't have to use them. Other people will use them a lot, and I use mine a lot. I've gone to her to schedule my classes every year. because she knows me. She knows who I am. She knows what I'm going to succeed in. She knows how I like to study. So say I want to take 3 nice courses and then 2 harder courses. She'll help me out with planning that, looking at the different teachers. She knows it's all about me. And then your career coach, they're there to find your Lindner professional experience. Discover your own career path, see where you want to go after college. That's the goal of college, right? To figure out what you want to do. And then Lindner international programs are study abroads. You can take them whenever you want, and that's kind of the key here with flexibility. Is it's up to you whenever you want to take it. You're not pressured into anything, and there's a ton of options for you. So as I said, Lindner abroad, there's tons of options here with flexibility. Semester abroad, I never did that, but I've had 3 people that I know, like one of my closest friends. He went on 2 semester abroads. He went to Japan and then he went to Africa. And honestly, a ton of people do that. And that's great. You're going to learn so much from experiencing different cultures. It's honestly a great time. I personally went into it was a week-long program. And it's when you go into a class once a week, just for an hour, talk about exactly what you're going to do, learn what you're going to learn about there. And I happened to be going to Toronto, and I was able to speak with some business professionals in a ton of different industries within Toronto. And then I also was able to learn the culture, and that's actually where I took my first bus ride and train ride, and that was a journey and a half. So it's a good time. And then, like I said, it's all about you. So our journeys are different. My journey, I've taken an LPE my first 3 summers, and I know a bunch of people that take it in the spring or the fall. It's all about you, and that's what's great about UC is we know everyone's experience is different, and we're gonna make it the best we can.
So now we'll go a little bit into experience-based learning, and you heard Jordan use the term LPE, and we'll talk a little bit more about that and give you good insight into what that really means and what that meant for us as well. So in addition to graduating with that degree that we talked about, while that's flexible also, your experience-based learning and the path that you take to explore the business world outside of the classroom is very flexible as well. So first, we'll define the word cooperative education. As you can see on the screen up here, don't get confused, hang on. So cooperative education was founded by the University of Cincinnati way back when we really invented co-op. This is a way to get students outside of the classroom into the working world. And it actually started in the engineering school. Since then, each of our colleges on campus has adopted its own kind of version or its own take on the cooperative education program and made it its own. So here at Lindner, we call those co-ops or the cooperative education programs that we offer Lindner professional experiences. So when Jordan talks about taking a Lindner professional experience, we think of like getting a job and finding a co-op. But those words can be used interchangeably, but here at Lindner, when we talk about specifically Lindner experiences, we call them LPEs. So during this time when you're on co-op, you can take time off school. You don't pay tuition, but you maintain your student status, which is really nice for a variety of reasons. And once again, it's completely customizable. On this screen, you can see then our different options for schedules. These by no means are your only options. You can do whatever you want with this. These are 2 kind of traditional routes that students take here at Lindner when it comes to the timing of those LPEs, but this is not in any way limit you or limit your experiences. We are flexible at the College of Business. So it's a really great way to test drive your major. Again, get out of the classroom. So take what you've learned in class from your professors and from what you've taken away from their experiences and then create your own experience. So building that professional network, really getting to know other people that are pursuing careers or involved in careers that might interest you, and also earning money, which isn't too bad. So taking a little bit of time off school, we talk about the value of your education, and we can really kind of put a number on it here when we talk about earning that $10,000 a semester. And that's kind of on average or kind of a number that we've taken from different stats as well. So as you can see on the screen, there's a variety of companies that students have worked for and co-opted and held Lindner professional experiences at in the past, and those are all shown on the screen. This is not, again, comprehensive. There's a lot of companies that are not on the screen that our students have worked for, but these are just a few. You'll see companies that you recognize and companies that you don't. So something else that's really cool is we have partnerships and we work a lot with small startup companies as well. So you'll see places on there like the Brandery, right next to places like P&G that we've all heard of. So I'll share a little bit about my co-op experience, and then Jordan can touch on his too. So I am currently enrolled in my 5th LPE. I have to think about that for a second. This is my 4th rotation at Ernst & Young. So if you'd never heard of it, it's called EY a lot of times, but Ernst & Young, it's got the little like yellow bar on top. If you can see it on the screen, that's one that's up there. But I worked there for, like I said, 4 rotations. I've tried a variety of service lines. It's what we call them. So I've done tax, I've done audit, I've worked internally on some projects, and now I'm currently in their consulting practice, which is where I think I am headed after graduation. So I'm really excited to be getting some experience in that, and it's been really great not only to find out what I do like to do, but also what I don't like to do, which sometimes can be easier to find. But we'll talk about on the next couple slides about how you get a co-op as well.
Yeah, and I liked how you said you find out what you want to do and what you don't like to do. I've had both co-ops. So my first semester, it was kind of like I wanted to get a co-op just to see what the corporate world was like. So I ended up working with Ashland LLC. It's a chemical manufacturing company, and I worked as a financial analyst. Now, my major, as I said, was business analytics and marketing, so the finance world was just like something completely new to me. And that's where I found out, like, okay, I actually like what I'm studying, and I want something that's going to be like what I'm studying. So then my next summer, I actually got a consumer behavior internship, and that's where I knew after the interview I was just like, I know this is what I want to do with my life. So definitely get out there, co-op. It'll help you define what you want in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome insight too. So how do you get an LPE, you might ask? This is a question we get all the time, and I guarantee if you were in our room right now, this is something you'd ask at the end of it. So we're gonna tackle it right now, so you don't even have to ask. An LPE is, we have all the tools at Lindner to set you up for success. So Jordan talked about how everyone here will have a dedicated career coach and a dedicated academic advisor. So those two people are really, they're in your support system. They are there to cheer you on, to help you make connections, to introduce you to the right people. But they're there as opportunities. So these are things that you have to seek out. It's not going to just fall in your lap. I mean, you have to work for an LPE, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's up to you for sure. You got to be proactive in your looking. And UC will push you to be proactive. Like, everyone here is proactive, so you'll feed off the energy from your roommates, from your classmates, and you're gonna go out and get that LPE.
Yeah, just tune in, listen to it, pick up on it, and start moving. So that's the advice I can give. It's never too soon to start looking for those opportunities and these experiences, because chances are a company's hiring a lot sooner than you think they are. So that's been just my personal experience. But it really is up to you to get the LPE. We give you all the tools you need to succeed. You just have to harness those and use them to the best of your ability. So next, Jordan's a great person to talk about community.
Yeah, so community's huge here at Lindner. It's what brings you here. Once you step foot on campus, you see it, you feel it. And I had the opportunity my senior year to go on a shadow day. Obviously pre-COVID, but and I saw it, I felt it, and that's exactly why I came to UC. So finding your support in community. Obviously, UC is a big campus. Here at Lindner, we're going to make that feel small, and that's with all the organizations that we have. You will find something that you enjoy to do that defines you, and there will be an organization that embodies that.
And they'll be here to support you too. So,
exactly.
And Jordan and I found that. And so all you have to do is, as Jordan said earlier, he was like, you have to just step out and find it.
Just be yourself.
Yeah, be there.
Just be yourself. And the faculty and staff, the support is insane. They're going to help you. Some of them are advisors of organizations, and they'll just push that on you during your first class when you see them. And then the alumni connection. Obviously, as a big college, we have a big alumni. So you're gonna know someone in the field that you want to go to, and Lindner does a great job of connecting you with them.
I think my favorite part is if you don't know someone, someone else does. So, for instance, if I've never met anyone who's in consumer behavior, I know who to go to now.
Yep.
Jordan, help me out.
Exactly.
Okay, moving into Lindner Business Honors, you can see the bullet points on the screen really describe all of the opportunities available and accessible to an honors student. I'm in an honors program, so I can just speak from personal experience about how impactful it's been for me to be in those honors sections of classes, because I really do love and value the time that I have with my professors, and they kind of pick on you when you're in a smaller section.
All right, yeah, I can talk about inclusive excellence. So here in Lindner, we actually have our own office of inclusive excellence. Think of this as like a diversity and inclusion office. So we have 3 programs within the office: Business Fellows, Lindner Women in Business, and Pride at Lindner. As I said, I'm the president of Business Fellows. We support African American, Hispanic, Latino, and Native American students. We provide a network of resources, and honestly, the best part about ours is the community engagement. We throw a Feast with Fellows where it's just us hanging out on a Zoom call, and we have fun. And that's where the Lindner community just shines, is when it's just the students. You guys will feel that energy from each other, and honestly, your best friends will come from these organizations.
Yeah, for sure. I think you told me that Business Fellows might have been one of the reasons you were at Lindner.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I actually, on that shadow day is when I shadowed a Business Fellows, and he showed me the community, and I mean, it's indescribable. Like, all the people were pushing me to be my best as a senior in high school, and I wasn't even in the program yet. So it just showed me how when you get here, people are gonna push you to be your best.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then now we'll talk a little bit about the Cincinnati area. Obviously, this is a huge part of why you would come to Cincinnati. We have so many Fortune 500 companies. As you know, this is a giant city. But here, we're going to make it seem like you can get wherever you want in Cincinnati. And then Cincinnati is also just the launch pad. We'll send you to Chicago through an LPE, to New York City, Boston, LA, all over the world. Actually, one of my friends just went to California. I mean, I would love to go to California.
Right now, especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Snowing.
But basically, you're going to have connections beyond Cincinnati, but it also is important to remember Cincinnati is a hub. It's a huge city, and you're going to find what you need within Cincinnati. And you don't have to wait to change the world.
So this is just really mentioning and drawing us all the way back to the beginning when we talked about that quote, how business students are here to solve problems, solving the world's problems. We think about, again, why do you study business? What's really important to you? For me, that was being able to go in and be that creative problem solver. So here at Lindner, throughout my experience, I've learned problem-solving techniques that I know that I can then use in the real working world. So thinking about how flexible my experience has been, and then how I've used those experiences outside of the classroom to further the impact that Lindner has had on me, as well as that community support that we get over and over and over. Not to mention the fact that we are so close to Cincinnati. It's awesome. I mean, I can go for a networking coffee and come back in time for class. So it's really right in our backyard, and we've taken advantage of that for sure. So we'll wrap up the presentation just by sharing a little bit more personally why we're here at Lindner and maybe UC in general. So for me, being from Chicago, a lot of my friends didn't even know where Cincinnati was. It's kind of funny. They were like, is that in Iowa? And I'm like, close. Like, maybe someone actually said that. And I was like, no. Or they think it's a really small school. Like, people have no idea. And so I like to share that with them. So that's why I wanted to be a Lindner ambassador. That's why I'm in this organization. And really Lindner specifically, like I said at the beginning, again, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I'm still working on figuring that out. But the co-ops have allowed me to really explore that, to learn, once again, what I like to do and also what I don't like to do.
Yeah, and I don't know how they thought it was in Iowa, but I'm from Columbus, so everyone that I was talking to knew what Cincinnati was, what it had to offer. But I don't think they truly understood the community here at UC. Like I said, it feels big, but here, when you get here and step foot on campus, it's so small. And what really brought me here, you said co-ops. I'm gonna go with the people. My shadow day, I can't stress it enough. the people you'll meet here will change your life, and they'll push you to be better. So that's why I came here, because I knew UC was going to develop who I was, and Lindner specifically. I mean, the community is just amazing.
Yeah, so reach out to us. Reach out to the admissions counselors here too. Everyone's here rooting for you, cheering for you. We wish you the best in your college decision-making process, and go Bearcats.
UC.